I've built an alliance, an army, and not just with humans, which leaves only one thing missing. The one thing that'll tilt the odds all the way in our favor. Our very own weapon of mass destruction. You. So you can play for the winning team, or you can keep on fighting. But I gotta warn you, pal, it only gets harder from here. It's like they say, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Quote, Maverick, with his mutant healing factor enhanced senses and razor sharp adamantium claws, the mutant known as Logan has been sought after and used as a weapon countless times in his long life. Now he serves no man, doing what he does best wherever he sees fit as the Wolverine. Vampires using dark force energy to blot out the sun are now free to roam the earth, terrorizing humanity in a bid for world domination. Who can stand against the undead horde? Wolverine, Blood Hunt, Volume 1, Issue 1. In California, somewhere near a bar called West of Barstow, Wolverine says the whole world's going straight to hell, which ain't exactly breaking news these days. I know only this time feels like there's a good chance it's finally going all the way there. Meanwhile, I'm drinking alone in some hole-in-the-wall dive waiting for a friend to arrive. Is there any chance they might be able to help me stop it from happening? Sounds about right for me. On the bright side, the beer's free, and on the not so bright side, soldiers are looking for Wolverine. This is not the friend Wolverine is looking for. As the soldiers draw their guns, they are the National Guard military police turned into vampires, all to capture Wolverine. Wolverine draws his claws and jumps right at the soldiers. Wolverine on instinct takes out the first soldier by slicing off its head. As an ironic feat, the vampire says Wolverine is a freak, an animal, and that this is going to get ugly. But Wolverine's instinct takes a back seat for a moment when he sees these National Guard vampires are young and that these soldiers did not sign up for this. They enlisted to serve their country, to make their parents proud and earn some money for college maybe. Wolverine hesitates for a split second, but these vampires unleash rounds on Wolverine. This is a stupid mistake. The soldiers thought a 45 caliber could slow Wolverine down. Despite Wolverine's bleeding guts, his healing factor kicked in without hesitation. He extended his claws swiftly, dispatching one soldier. The remaining two soldiers opened fire, astonished that their bullets had no effect on Wolverine. Grabbing a cue stick, Wolverine turned it into a makeshift stake. The soldier prepared to defend themselves, but Wolverine lunged forward once more. Wolverine thrusts a stake through one soldier's heart and disarms another one, showing him no mercy. He refrains from killing him, but the soldier then pushes Wolverine outside the bar, shouting to fry him. A fire is burning him alive inside out in his active denial system electromagnetic beam. It's a heat ray. As the heat ray is cooking Wolverine, one of the soldiers says, "Keep cooking him, don't stop, and bring the damn chains." Every inch of Wolverine's body is scorching, searing skin and metal, molten hot blades inside scalding flesh forge. He cannot move, he cannot breathe, he cannot even die as the heat wave just keeps burning and burning. Wolverine, but out of nowhere, somebody blasts the heat ray. The soldiers turn their backs and get one in the head and one through the heart as Wolverine's friend has finally arrived. It is Louise, the night guard from the pages of Wolverine, to the rescue. Louise says, "It appears to me that I've arrived just in time," as she asks, "How are you feeling, Logan?" Logan says he feels like a burnt hamburgers. Louise jokes, "Hamburgers? How very American." And Logan says, "Except I'm Canadian." Louise was a vampire hunter turned and raised by a cult of vampire killers called the Night Guard. She took base in a church of Saint Julien la Preuve in Paris. Louise was stationed outside of La Boulette de Rouge, a bar frequented by vampires, when Wolverine presented himself as Logan. When he was kidnapped by vampires inside the building, she freed him and killed the kidnappers with him. Logan then found her in a base, and they together killed the vampires that they were inhibiting the catacombs to Paris. By the time their path crossed again, her entire order had either been slaughtered by vampires they hunted or turned. This all started in Wolverine 2020 issue 1, as Louise and Wolverine talk about the past events and how she turned into a vampire, the thing she hated the most, and how the vampires destroyed her order. She believed she needed a personal purpose for existing. To an extent, as it turns out, she was only half right. She has kept the monster caged rage inside of her. Wolverine had taken her to the Svalith. It's a place in the realm of the other world populated by vampires who learned a long time ago to control their bloodlust. Louise says, when I became a vampire, my life ended. It's true, but the Svalith have learned that I need to not be the case for my life's purpose. As well, the human I once is dead, but the undead creature I have become, the last of the Night Guard, continues to fight for humanity. It is why I answered your call. Wolverine says, well, we'll take it from me. Whatever you want to call yourself, the best thing you can do is grasp onto any shred of humanity you can. Whatever it takes to remember, you ain't just a monster. Louise wants to know how I can help you. In a flashback, Wolverine says, I was killing time and brain cells in a rundown casino just outside of Vegas. The place was a dump, but the beer was cold, the slots were loose, and it felt good to have some time off for once. I should have known better. The casino was full of vampires, turning the joint into an all-you-can-eat blood buffet. If that wasn't weird enough, one of the bloodsuckers knew my name. I didn't know him, and I didn't care. Like you've danced with bloodsuckers more times than I can count. I've learned the quickest way to end their feeding frenzy is to keep my head while making damn sure they lose theirs. I left the casino floor with the rental cops and headed outside to see if there were any more bloodsuckers in need of permanent haircut. Sure enough, there were plenty more painting the parking lot red under a pitch black sky. That's when it hit me. It was lunchtime. This was the beginning of the events of Blood Hunt issue #1, where the dark hole blackened the skies and the vampires ran rampant. Wolverine was not out for lunch when the vampires attacked. It was literally the middle of the day, but it was dark as hell. No sun, no stars, nothing. He figured it was high time to get out of Dodge at that point. There was no way he was going to be stupid enough to stick around when the vamps had that kind of advantage. He decided to regroup and re-strategize, but first he needed intel. After the casino throwdown, he made 2 calls. The first one was to Jeff Bannister, a CIA agent and a pal. Jeff gave him the 411 on why it was nighttime at noon. Wolverine's second call was to Louise. He wanted to tap into her vampire expertise to fight fire with fire and all that jazz. He thought this bar would be a safe place, totally abandoned, but the MP showed up with custom-made weapons for taking him down. Louise said, so both the soldiers and the casino guards seem to be seeking you out specifically. Do you have any idea why that might be? Wolverine says, no clue. I'm hoping my guy on the inside can help on that front. Jeff Bannister tells them those soldiers who attacked you are from the National Guard MP unit out of Riverside. They were activated when all hell broke loose. A whole platoon went missing, but we got GPS readings on their vehicles. They're part of a convoy moving really fast. Best guess is they're headed to Long Beach. Wolverine and Lewis, the Night Guard, head out to their motorbikes. It's time to hunt. On the highway in California, just northeast of Long Beach, Wolverine thinks to himself, never seen the roads this empty before. I guess everyone with half a brain is laying low. Coming up on the Long Beach freeway should be a straight shot from here. Suddenly, mercenaries appear cutting off Wolverine and Night Guard. The mercenaries strike first, launching a huge bazooka that knocks Wolverine and the Night Guard off their bike. They see the Night Guard on the floor and show no concerns for her, deciding to waste her if she isn't dead already. Just then, Wolverine's claws draws and takes out a few soldiers. However, a bullet hits Wolverine in the shoulder. He recognized these guys from somewhere. Suddenly, a sword pierces through the chest of one of the mercenaries. Just then, the mercenaries recognize Luis as a vampire, just like them. These mercenaries are professional killers, but they are also vampires. First, it was a casino, rent-a-cops, then the National Guard bloodsuckers, and now mercenaries. They are all gunning for Wolverine, but why do they want Wolverine? As Wolverine and the Night Guard dispose of the mercenaries, someone beeps in. It's Maverick, an elite mercenary with a long history with Wolverine, dating back to their Team X days. Wolverine questions Maverick. A bunch of your guys ambushed me on the 710. Maverick responds, yeah, I know, poorly seen as you're still standing, as a drone watches the whole situation. This was all just a proof of concept for his new partners to show that Wolverine is a warrior and a weapon. Wolverine says, figures, who's wasting their dough paying you to kill me this time? Maverick replies, nah, you got it wrong, pal. This ain't about money or killing you. It's about bringing you over to my side. In case you missed it, the planet's power paradigm is about to shift big time. Humans and mutants had their chance, and they both struck out swinging. Now the vampires are stepping up to the plate, and something tells me they're gonna knock it out of the park. I'm prepping for the impending power vacuum when all that's left are vampires fighting for the crown. Maverick has switched sides from the human race to the vampire race, feeling humans and mutants are done and the vampires have all the odds on their side. Wolverine stands firm and says, "And you think sending a bunch of bloodsuckers at me is going to be some kind of effective recruiting technique?" Wolverine says to Maverick, "This doesn't make sense." Maverick replies, "Maybe not now, but it will. I built an alliance, an army, and not just with humans. This leaves only one thing missing, the one thing that will tilt the odds all the way in our favor, our very own weapon of mass destruction. You can play for the winning team or you can keep on fighting, but I gotta warn you, pal, it only gets harder from here. It's like they say, if you can't beat them, join them." Maverick believes the vampires already have an edge, and now it's a matter of time which vampires will lead different territories. Maverick has been turned, but he also deals with humans and vampires, and he wants Wolverine as his Weapon X, his weapon of mass destruction. We leave Wolverine and Louise surrounded. Next, Wolverine Blood Hunt, Volume 1, Issue 2.